Okay, so today we're going to be looking at 5 players who you may or may not have heard of. The idea is that you kind of haven't, and they're presumed to be hidden gems. The first player we're going to look at is Daniel Ruiz. He can play anywhere across the wings, and he can play as a cam as well. He is 21 years old in this save, and so I'm currently doing a Fiorentina save, and I bought him on this save. I haven't yet been able to play him in the league because I haven't got enough non-EU players, so I'll have to register next season. But at the moment, yeah, he's 21. His stats are, like you can see, they're already really good, well-rounded. His physicals are really good, his mentals are pretty good, and his technicals are really good for a 21-year-old. I'll probably be using him as a right winger and train him to be an inside forward because that's what my formation is currently looking like. And we've loaned him out to Braga as well, so it's not like he's in a bad league or anything. But yeah, his potential is extremely high. He's currently good enough, I'd say, to play in the Championship, or I mean, he's playing in the Portuguese Premier League, right? So he can definitely start in a lot of different leagues straight away. He has a potential in this save of anywhere up to 151. I think his ranges are between 140 and 166 pretty much. That's what I've seen in different saves. Another reason why I really like him is because I managed to pick him up for only £3.1 million, which is like really cheap for a player of this potential, especially. So if you're at a not so rich club, or even potentially like a second tier club, maybe in the Championship, you'd probably have enough to be able to buy this player. And he's definitely worth it. He becomes like a world-class winger or cam, depending on where you want to play him, and you can end up making a lot of profit from him if you sell him. You know, great selling value, and he's just a really good all-round player. Yeah, so really high potential. You can get him for 3.1 million, like I said, and he's just a really solid player. The next players that we're going to look at are actually in my St. Etienne save as well. And we're going to start off with a centre back called Nduka Jr. He is Nigerian, 20 years old. He's at my St. Etienne save, who are currently in the second tier of France, which shows you can kind of get this player even if you are at a lower level. You're not Premier League or the highest league straight away. It says that at the moment he is this current standard, but he can improve a lot. His potential goes up to 147 in this save. In other saves I've seen go up to like 162, but in this one it's a little bit lower. But for the price you can get him at, which is 300k, like, that's an absolute bargain. So like, say you're a Championship team yet again, you get this player for 300k, who will then be like a leading Premier League centre back, which is quality, especially for 300k. Like, it's an absolute bargain. He's 6'3". At the moment he's 20 years old, so he's got a long time to develop still. He's got 15 heading, 14 marking, 15 tackling, and 12 jumping reach at 6'3", which is just really good for a player who's yet to develop. He just has great like base stats, I guess, right? But yeah, his potential is extremely high. You can get him for 300k, which is extremely cheap, out of the Nigerian league, playing for Remo Stars. Yeah, he's just an absolute bargain. Another player that you can get is Libasse Ngom, Senegalese 18-year-old, got 3 caps in the under-20s for Senegal. Yeah, again, his stats are pretty nice. He's only 18, so his strength at the moment is like really low, but that should develop. And I mean, he's 6'3", right? So like, eventually he should just be completely fine. His physicals are really good. He's pretty fast, pretty agile, got good balance. His jumping reach could improve, but I mean, yeah, again, he's 18, right? So it probably will. His natural fitness and work rate are really high, so he could play as a pressing forward if you wanted to. His off the ball is pretty decent. He's really good at dribbling. His first touch is good. His finishing's good. His long shots are really good, so you could actually play him as a cam if you wanted to. But you'd have to develop his vision for sure. His passing's good. He's good at taking penalties. Technique's pretty good. And yeah, for a player that only cost me 65k, which is ridiculous, right? You can buy him at like a League 1 level if you wanted to. this player is brilliant. His potential goes up to 158 in this save, which is extremely high, right? He becomes like an elite striker, and I got him for 65k out of the Senegalese, like first tier. I assume this is. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, for a player that's already pretty much good enough to play in the championship, and I mean I'm playing in the second tier of France, right? He's completely fine. And yeah, 65k a week for this player, with a lot of time to develop and improve. Potential goes up to 158. That's in this save anyway. Another player that we can take a look at is okay, I can't do it in this save. I will probably be able to do it in okay, so we have Luis Guilherme. He is currently at Palmeiras in the Brazilian league. He's mainly going to be a cam. That's where I'd play him for sure. He's currently 16 years old. In the base, like in the start of the game, he's really fast, really agile, really good vision, really good technique. His determination is like relatively good, which means that he will develop faster. His dribbling, finishing and first touch are really good. And yeah, I haven't actually bought this guy on any saves yet, but I've seen a lot of people raving about him, saying that he's really good. And I mean, his potential goes up to 160, right? If I ask him... Okay, so talking to his agent, and his agent says that I could buy him anywhere from 55k to 5.4 million, which is pretty much at the start of the game. We're only in September of the first season, so I'm pretty sure the window just closed, or it's like barely just open. But yeah, you can get him up to 5.4 million, which is a bargain for a player that becomes one of the best cams in the world in like a few years. If you give him first team football, or if you loan him out, as long as he just gets experience and develops, if you develop him in the correct way, he will just become one of the best cams in the game for, yet again, extremely cheap. And the last guy we're going to look at is Pedro Vito. He plays for them. In this save, he has a potential of anywhere up to 151, but in this save, he was never actually given a chance at all, never bought by anybody, which is why he hasn't developed in this save, because this is a save that's 10 years on in the future. But as you can see, I mean, he's really fast, got really good stamina, really good fitness. His mentals are pretty good across the board. Technicals are very good. And this is a player that I'm pretty sure you can get for cheap. He starts off at Vancouver in the game. And I mean, 2 years on, he goes for free, goes for 1 million. Yeah, he's always just going for free or like £1 million. Which, for a player in this save, has a potential of 151. In other saves, I've seen him go anywhere from 145 to 166 again. For a player that you can get extremely cheap, which in this one save he never got bought by anybody decent, which is why he hasn't developed, or he's not as good as he could be. But if you buy him in your save, you develop him, you play him, you do your job correctly, right, like this player will become a superstar for sure. But yeah, in this one instance he just hasn't become that. But I mean, he's their star player, right? But I don't know, he could definitely be a lot better if you play him. And for a player that you can get for, let's say, like 1 million by the looks of it, I'm not sure, probably cheaper to start the game, to be honest. He's at Vancouver in the MLS. I don't think it should cost that much to buy this player. So yeah, just another wonder kid that you can get for extremely cheap if you're on a budget. But yeah, that was the 5 players that we're gonna look at today. I hope you got something useful out of this. Hopefully you can buy these players for your team, improve your team, and have wonder kids for the future. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.